Hi, Eric.
Hi, Marie.
How are you?
I'm super.
Super. So we're here to just talk a little bit about one of the newer paranormal shows that has come out. We actually mentioned it in our last podcast, and that is The Osbournes Want to Believe. Um, I had the pleasure of watching both episodes in their entirety. Um, What are your thoughts of the show so far?
It's a train wreck.
No, it's a train wreck.
Yeah, it's bad. There are a few laughs that you get from it, seeing Ozzy in his aged state and Sharon and her Pomeranian
uh,
pa- posse, if you want to call it that.
that is
And
perfect.
yeah, and it's funny to see them bicker and fight. And other than that, it's a waste of a show.
Well, I'll
Jack, I
tell
feel
you.
bad. I feel bad for Jack because Jack is trying to get his parents to. He's trying to show these videos to his parents, and they're fighting more than they are discussing the videos.
Well, and then Sharon, what her contribution to the show is almost an insult to the field. Because she has obviously no knowledge of anything paranormal, but she tries to chime in like she knows what she's talking about, and you just see the look on Jack's face, like he's. And I agree with you. I feel bad for Jack because I feel like he's trying to produce a legitimate show,
Hmm.
and he's not getting I don't think what he expected from his parents in doing this show. It's again the two of them bickering a lot between each other, and I mean it's still entertaining to watch. I like to see Ozzy rip into Sharon because, as I stated in the previous podcast, I'm not a huge fan of Sharon Osbourne. So that I enjoy. But I do feel bad for Jack, and you can see Jack, just kind of struggling, and there's been a couple times where he's basically like, you guys are insane. Like, we're trying to do a show here, and why? Let's get with the program. Um, Now, when we talked about it in our previous podcast, you questioned how many. You said, "I wonder how many times they're gonna have to bleep Ozzy."
I
So
did.
I kept a tally. I actually kept a tally. Would you
Wow,
like?
I'm surprised your book is that small.
Well, so in the first episode, in the first episode, Jack started off with quite a lead. So then I started tallying Jack's bleeps as well. Sharon, I don't care about. I didn't bother with Sharon. Okay, so Jack started off the lead with having more bleeps than Ozzy in the first
Hmm.
episode, but Ozzy quickly came back. Now I'm gonna let you guess. How many bleeps do you think Jack had in the first episode?
uh, it's what a an hour long show.
Yeah, well, without
Um,
the commercials out, it's what, 42 minutes.
42 minutes, yeah. So I would say probably about 35.
Jack had 14.
Wow, I overestimated.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now in the first episode, how
Okay.
many bleeps do you think Ozzy had?
Probably closer to 50.
You almost nailed it. It was 52.
Yeah,
52
just
bleeps.
I haven't watched the entire episodes. I watched the second episode, but I haven't watched the episodes. And he does swear almost every time he opens his mouth.
Yeah. And then swears after
It's Sharon.
in
Yeah.
between. Yeah, like just the swear, right?
Hmm.
Um then the second episode, they were a little tamer. And I
Oh,
wonder if the network was like, it costs us a lot of money to insert these bleeps, so if you could kind of curb. And so I'm giving you a little hint there. How many times do you think Jack sweared or was bleeped in the second episode?
maybe 7,
5. Good
5.
guess. Yes. And Ozzy,
I'm still saying pretty high, maybe 40 this time.
35 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is my tally that I took. That was the second episode. I don't know if you can see that. And the
Hmm.
first episode. Oh, and In the first episode,
Wow.
you might remember, I anticipated that Jack was going to surprise Ozzy with his little mini replica of Robert the
Robert.
Doll. 100% he did.
Mm-hmm.
And Ozzy was not happy about it.
He was creeped out.
Yeah, in fact, they talked about FedExing it back to Florida, back to where they bought it from, because
Right.
apparently they've had a string of bad luck. I learned that Jack has since been divorced
Mm-hmm.
since he got that Robert the Doll. So I think they're actually going to do it. I think they're going to FedEx that doll back to wherever it is in Florida that Jack is, or not Jack, but Robert. And they're
Maybe
going to
we'll
get
get
rid of it.
lucky, and maybe we'll get lucky, and Robert will jinx them and give them enough bad luck that there'll only be one season of the show.
I can guarantee there's only going to be one season of this show. I mean, yeah. And for those of you who haven't seen it, it's very much like Believers and Hotel Paranormal, where Jack submits footage, either caught by a witness or CCTV video, and then asks his parents, do you think this is legitimate or not? And if you don't think it's legitimate, or if you do think it's legitimate, why? And he has what he calls the Oogie Boogie scale, I think he called it, the Woogie Boogie.
Yes.
I wish he would call it something else. Something a little more mature.
Well, the show's anything but mature.
Yeah.
So,
Good point. Good point. The other reason we wanted to hop on really quick was to let everybody know that our August episode of Macabre Moments will be coming out. It'll be out by the 25th of this month. We just got done recording.
mm-hmm.
We had a wonderful, wonderful conversation. And going forward with the new format of Macabre Moments, I used to never ever disclose who the guest was until I posted the podcast. Well, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to let you know what we have in store for you, right? So, today we just got done interviewing the most awesome man ever, besides Eric Altman and
Aw.
my husband.
Aw.
Nick Redfern is who is our August guest. He has a new book that just came out August 4th. What was the name of the book again?
Monsters of the Deep.
I wanted to say Mysteries of the Deep again. I don't know why I'm stuck on mysteries.
Monsters of the Deep.
Yes. So
Yes.
he's talking about aquatic cryptids. And then he also has another book coming out on October that is called The Martians, Evidence of Life on the Red Planet. And we talked to him a little bit about that, the possibility of life on Mars, why he believes there could be life on Mars. Very, very interesting conversation. What did you think of our conversation with Nick?
Oh, it was too short.
Right.
Way too short, because he's a wealth of knowledge. He's written over 50 plus books, and these topics deserve much more time than we had to give to them. So hopefully we can get him back on again to talk further about Monsters of the Deep. That we touched on Loch Ness, we touched on the Kraken and other famous, the Megalodon, other famous cryptids, aquatic cryptids, but we didn't touch nearly what we could have. We could have spent the entire show talking about it. But fascinating to talk with Nick about that, and of course the Martians and some of the strange photographs that NASA's released, and the possibility of life on Mars and our exploration. So it was a very intriguing conversation with Nick.
Absolutely. Yeah. So make sure to keep your eyes peeled on the channel. The podcast will be out in about a week and a half. And, the dynamic duo is back. Here we are. And in flesh and blood almost, even this time. People
Yeah,
can
you get to see
your handsome face.
You can see our ugly mugs.
And a kitty tail.
Yeah. I got a kitty tail back here. Oh, he went and ran away.
Cat bombed.
Yeah. That was Paws.
Oh, we all know Pause.
Yeah, he wanted to be on the camera. He's like, what about my airtime, bitches?
I actually almost suggested that you grabbed Woody and I grabbed Kato for this. Yeah, Woody's right there. Ah, there he is. Hi, Woody.
Yay!
Oh,
And of course, our new puppy, here he is, Scrappy.
Scrappy.
Yay.
What a cutie he is.
He's like, you just woke me up, you bastard.
Yeah, what are you doing Well, unfortunately, my door is closed and my dog is not in here, or I would grab him up and show him off. But we'll do that in the next video. I'll make sure I have my little tiny toes in here with me.
Cool. Yeah, my
Awesome.
pals like to hang out with me during the podcast too. So
But you're lucky that they're quiet.
yeah, my paranormal pups.
Well, see, my problem is I've got my taxidermy collection in here, and Kato likes to bark at them. He thinks they're alive. Probably because they used to be, and he can smell that it's like a real animal, even though it's taxidermy. I have to keep this door closed always, or he'll just be in here Blair Witching the taxidermy shelf, right? And then eventually, at some point, he starts barking, trying to get a reaction, which won't happen because they're stuffed. But everybody needs a hobby.
Barking at taxidermied stuffed animals.
Exactly. That was kind of a psycho little nod to one of my all-time favorite films of all time. As you know, where I got my radio name from, right?
Right.
All right. That's something I don't disclose often. In fact, Eric, I don't think I told you this, but in the 8 years now that I've been doing this, right, I have had one person say, Marie Samuels, isn't that name from the movie Psycho? One person. And I've been waiting for that forever. And it was during a job interview.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was telling them, they asked about my extracurricular activities, and I said, well, I do a podcast, but I do it under another name, and I told them the name, and she was a huge Hitchcock fan, so she... And the interview was actually at a place where they make gravestones.
Oh, wow.
And I
Even
really
spookier.
wanted that job so bad, and I thought for sure I was going to get the job because of the Hitchcock fan, but apparently there was someone else that outdid me because I didn't get that job. So
they had a better podcast name.
There is no better podcast name. And no, it's no. Name one.
Mike Myers?
Maybe. Is there a Mike Myers that does a podcast?
I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe.
But that could be his birth name.
Could be. It could be an actor. A famous Canadian actor.
A famous Canadian actor, yes, it could be. I mean, Eric Altman is a good podcast name.
That's my real name, though.
But that's your real name, I know.
Yeah, nothing spooky about it except me.
Yeah, well, being a female, we're raised to, like, protect ourselves, right? And so, that was that was my line of thinking when I decided not to use my real name.
Sure.
As if there was some, creepy dude out there that liked me a little too much. I didn't want to make it easy on him for them to be able to find me, so.
And now they can see your face, and then it's easier for them to track you down.
Well, they can just watch the videos. They can just
right.
Watch the videos. That's fine. I don't care. Just don't track me down. Please. Unless you're a millionaire and sane.
And on that note...
No, I was going to say no. That makes me sound like a gold digger. I don't want to keep that on there. I am absolutely not a gold digger.
Oh, my.
I know. All right, so that was our first video, and I think we did a really good job. So everybody keep your eyes peeled on the channel. Please subscribe while you're here. The more subscriptions that we get, or subscribers that we get, the better it is for me and Eric. So we would really appreciate that if you could do that while you're here. And just gotta wait.
Button down there.
That's right. Or up there, depending on what format you're using, because sometimes it's even over there. Now I kind of feel like the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz.
There you go.
He didn't have a brain, right?
No comment.
And on that note, we will be checking in with you later. Thank you all for tuning in. And watch out for our podcast coming out in about a week. Thank you. Bye, Eric.